Four is the direction of depth.
The four is the
fours,
direction
if
of
they're
depth
anything,
is,
they are deep.
They are deep.
So
right?
and the two has to go inside and
Two has
discover
to
their
go
own
inside.
their own inner depths.
That's one of the things that I invite twos to do is maybe to listen to music that allows feeling, that allows you to cry, that allows you to experience some sadness. Because the two is like threes and sevens tend to be positive. They tend to want the world to be up. And so, because if I have to go to the depth of feeling, then I have to go to my own inner sense of emptiness. And is there anybody home in there? So obviously, the alcohol or it's going to medicate that sense of emptiness.
Yeah, you actually find a lot of twos, alcohol.
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed sometimes with twos too is the alcohol can come after, or some sort of addiction can come after retirement.
Wow, and they're no longer useful.
Yeah,
Makes
and I've noticed in my Cincinnati community for some stay-at-home parents and moms whose kids left, and there could be some depression, just inevitable depression that comes in because there were all of these needs out there and now they're not there. And so they'll usually try to find another place to land. But I've noticed that alcohol use can really get amped up after whatever need I was feeling is no longer.
Yeah, you are when you are useful. When you're no longer useful, you are not. Therefore,
yes.
Blot out.
Yeah. So another practice for twos is saying no to the significant others. It's one client, I gave her an assignment. She had to say no once a day.
Right.
And it's really interesting, and this is understand how type gets amplified. I was walking with a woman one time whose husband's a 6. And this woman, she's a 2, and she's pretty unconscious to her 2-ness and pretty unconscious to interior work. And she was saying, I just think it's ridiculous that he has to take these medications, this anti-anxiety medication. If he could just think positive, and if he could just get better. And I said, yeah, that's good. I said, so we all, and I had typed her when I was certifying. I said, we all have our own little quality or aspects of being where we amplify. I said, so how about you not help anybody for the next 2 weeks? Just, kind of see what that feels like. And she literally stopped on her tracks.
Well, and that's that's classic point of codependency, which is it's called addiction to people.
Yes.
Yes. So and if you have a 2 and you're working with a family where addiction, and the 2 is not the identified addict in this part.
Yes,
their codependency and their supporting and their helping the addict get out of their troubles time and time again is doing nothing but delaying the day of reckoning and make it more likely that the addict will not have to deal with it and they will eventually die.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah,
because
it's a classic type of codependency. And the other thing I've noticed, some twos have told me that they have used to kind of almost be in support or to be kind of one with the one who is using.
Wow.
So I have a question, which is, I always think that there's 2 kinds of twos. There's more the seductive, kind of histrionic side, and then there's the, kind of more what you've been talking about. And I got that from Helen, 20 years ago or whatever. So I'm curious if that's evolved since back then.
No, I think it could have to do with subtypes, and it could be just, most twos I know, I don't know that I've ever met a 2 who doesn't have a quality of seduction. I mean, when you're looking at my daughter, it's almost like this. You just can just start melting. She's got these big brown eyes. The other thing I've noticed, Tom Condon, I don't know if you know him, he does a lot with Enneagram and NLP. But a lot of times twos have big eyes. Not always. But there's just, there's this deep melting eye contact.
Yeah.
And you feel heard. How lovely is that?
And the 2 woman walks in the room and all the men go woof. No matter what she looks like or how old, it's just this quality.
That's why I just watch my daughter walk in a room and think, wow. It's just, she doesn't know it. Just really is unaware of her impact on people. But Tom Condon says Madonna is a 2. So Madonna looks a little different from Mother Teresa. So just we can't put people in boxes.
Michael had a question.
Yeah, question. How would the healthy and the unhealthy be altered by the subtype?
Oh, that's a great question. I have to kind of sit with that.
I mean, you've talked
I don't know
about
that it would be altered by this subtype. I think it would just look different. with the
Manifestation.
subtype. The manifestation is very
Can
So
you
how
give a-
social versus self-preservation versus
Yeah.
sexual look.
Yeah, you know, Madonna might be a one-to-one or sexual subtype. Mother Teresa might be a two sub, or
I hope
excuse
she's
me, a
not a
social
sexual.
subtype.
Social.
Yeah, probably, yeah, maybe, you
Okay.
never know, you
Yeah,
never
okay.
know. But honestly, you never know with some of these, with a contemplative knot, it's this longing.
So you can have, of course, a healthy subtype or a pathological
Yes.
unhealthy subtype,
Yeah.
so.
And the histrionic piece shows up, I've never seen it, you know, in every one of the types, you can take I'm not the therapist in the room, was it the DSM-V? DSM?
Are we up to 5 now?
DSM-5
Yeah,
now, okay. So anyway, so you can take any one of them, and each one of them, when amplified, so like for twos, it's histrionic. You can have the manic quality in twos too, manic depression sometimes in twos, but the histrionic personality disorder.
And that would be the sexual subtype.
I think it would be with any of the.
So what would
any
the
of
kind of a
subtypes.
healthy the sexual subtype look like?
Well, and a capacity to just stay in here. I mean, for almost all of us,
Yeah.
isn't that what it is? A capacity to hold center in here, but to say no, to set boundaries, to it is a challenge. Particularly, what I've noticed is they almost have to be alone. Is what a lot of twos will tell me. I need to be alone. Need to be in my practice to get clear away from you, because you and your needs are so compelling that I almost have to go in here, make the decision by myself, away from all of your needs.
But wouldn't also part of the task be for two to learn what unhealthy, codependent helping behavior is, and what
Yes.
what true service is?
Yes, and that's how it is with all of us, and it just takes life experience and wisdom. We were talking about, some of us were talking at the table this morning about working with young people. And sometimes it just takes life experience. It's just, you know, being codependent one too many times. Or feeling unappreciated and doing all the needs out there just one too many times where it's exhausting.
Yeah,
And isn't that how the spiritual path is?
yeah, yeah.
It's that the first half of life is just kind of the ego runs the show, and the second half you're just tired of it.
Right, it begins to deflate and break
You
down.
just, yeah, you just sometimes need, and that's sometimes I'll say to my daughter, sweetie, you just go out and do it, you need it right now. You know, if you just need to perhaps be with someone, be in this relationship, but just notice it. Because you know, you're 20.